Guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Crystal Lisa. If you're new, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate you, and I am very sorry this week's video is very late, but having to sit down and actually talking to the camera is what has delayed it, because this video was actually supposed to go up last week Monday, but then I didn't have time to sit down and give you my thoughts on the actual process, so I ended up pushing it, putting up the haul, but I didn't want to do haul part 2 because it's kind of a cop-out. So here we are. Before we jump into the vlog part of the video, I just wanted to sit down and talk to you about the actual experience, because today we are finally talking about buying tiles. So I needed to buy a bunch of tiles for the kitchen, because I had initially planned to do one half of the kitchen and then come back and do the other half of the kitchen. So I'm not 100% done, but then I ended up being just we're already here, we're already demolishing things, let's just get it done right, so I ended up going to 3 tile shops. I ended up first going to Saj, because it's the one that everyone keeps talking about. So all the contractors, all the fundis that I talked to, they're like, oh yeah, you can get that cheaper at Saj. So I ended up going to Saj, and my experience there was, out of 10, I would say a 6 out of 10. First of all, there were a lot of people, which I don't fault them for because it was a Saturday morning. But then there were a lot of people and there were a lot of employees. But I don't know what triggers them to come and help you, because I saw them going to help certain people and not really helping me. Basically, I can't really talk about anyone else's experience, but I kind of felt like they didn't take it seriously that I wanted to buy anything. So it was just oh, she's just browsing, whatever, So yeah, and also maybe it's partly me, my own internal issues of feeling low-key an imposter. I feel like a child. So I feel like they're looking at me and being this child isn't buying tiles for anything, so just dismiss her. So yeah, at Saj I just kind of felt a little bit maybe they were too busy for my business. So I just looked around, didn't really find what I wanted, kind of found what I wanted. I kind of found the marbly tiles, and again we'll get more into that in the video because the plan completely changed. But yeah, just 6 out of 10 in terms of friendliness and welcomingness, and even in finding what I wanted, just did not like that experience. So spent maybe 30 minutes there. Went immediately from Saj Ceramics to, again, I have the benefit of living on Mombasa Road, so it's really good that I can just go to these places. But it's taken me a year to just go to these places, right? So it's working up the nerve and having it be the right time in the renovation for me to actually go to these shops. So second shop I went to was CTM. I found they had no employees on the floor. Again, it was a Saturday, because I feel Saturday is a day that most people are going to be able to go there anyway, right? So it shouldn't be making too many excuses with it being a weekend. And I didn't go at their closing time. I went an hour and a half before their closing time. So yeah, it wasn't, they didn't have as many employees, but it also wasn't as crowded. So kind of enjoyed the experience of looking through their stock a bit more. And then when I finally did help, I just walked up to someone and I was I need this, and they were very excited to come and scan it for me, and they were very helpful. I was pretty happy with CTM. I would give it an 8 out of 10, I think. Pretty happy with the service, pretty happy with the stock, pretty happy with everything overall, and I found the tiles that I wanted, right? So initially I had seen this exact type of tile, but just in a much cheaper format. You can tell when tiles look more breakable than others. So I'd seen the more breakable version, I guess those are the locally manufactured ones, in a shop in Lolongo for 2,000 bob, a box of 4 in the same size, right? But then when I went back to what I believe is the shop, they looked at me like I was crazy, and they were we've never had this type of tiles, blah blah blah. And I remember that shop specifically because it's the only one that I had seen the type of tile that I had wanted. So in my mind I was no, I'm buying paint this month, next month I'll come for tile. And then I traveled, so it was 2.5 months later maybe, and it just completely was not available. That's why I ended up going to the name brand tile stores. So Saj had what I needed, the design that I needed, but they only had the 2 tiles, the longer format, the rectangle ones, versus the square 4 tiles, right? They cover the same surface area, but then I needed the square because it's wider versus the rectangle, which is thinner. Then I'd have to stack it in between the space. I don't know how to explain it, the countertop, right? So it wouldn't go from the front to the back of the counter. It would go halfway, and then we'd have to cut tile, versus the square one that goes all the way. It's just shorter, so you have to cut it halfway, horizontally versus vertically. if that makes sense. So I actually did end up getting the box of tiles from CTM, and I was really happy because what I wanted to do was bring them into the space and actually see them in the kitchen and make sure this is the tile that I want before I like fully commit to like getting enough of it and whatever. And also wanted to have a physical box so that I'm not just assuming measurements, so I can come and like physically lay them out and then know exactly how many of them I needed. That's why I only bought one box on that day, and surprisingly I got them for 2,400 instead of the 2,000 bob. So the tile quality is so much better that it's worth that 400 bob like 1,000 times over, you know. So yeah, and it's the only tile at CTM that was like really interesting to me. Yes, I was going there specifically looking for marble, but then like I keep an open mind as I'm like you know, shopping, window shopping, possibly spending some money. So yeah, it just, I don't think they had as much stock as I would have liked, but they had what I needed. So what I'm trying to go like sequentially so that I can tell you like the actual story of what happened. So this was one weekend and I got the box of tiles and I was really happy, brought it in, put it there. I was really happy to go, right? And then what happened was my carpenter, my contractor person, was not available for that week. So my tiles were literally just sitting outside for like an entire week. And then I ended up deciding in between as I was waiting for him that I actually wanted to go to Ideal Ceramics because I saw an advert that they were having a sale throughout the month of June. I don't know if the sale is still ongoing. I don't know if it has ended. I really wanted to get this video up in June in case you wanted to like go and check it out yourself, but unfortunately just like life happened and I could not. But I really hope it's still ongoing because they had the best tiles. So I have like minor footage of me walking through some of these shops just because I know you're not really allowed to record in like malls and shops and whatever. If you ask them, they allow you to take a picture of whatever it is that you want, but then like just general recording I don't think is, like vlogging in the shop I don't think is really encouraged. So the footage is a bit shaky and like a little bit unusable, but at least you can kind of see the stock that they had. And for me, Ideal Ceramics was 100%, 100 times over like a better experience, just because even though there were people, it didn't feel completely cramped. With Saj, it kind of felt like it was just one room stuffed with all their stock, and I didn't really like that. Versus Ideal Ceramic, there's just a bit more spread out. There's like upstairs and downstairs, as well with CTM, upstairs and downstairs. So I guess just the ability to like walk around and people volunteering themselves to help you. Like I just feel like it was 1,000 times more friendly than the other place, because CTM I had to like go and look for someone to like help me because there weren't as many people, whereas Ideal Ceramics has so many people on the floor. Everyone wants to help you, everyone wants to like sort of volunteer themselves to, because at this point it was the third shop I'd gone to. So I guess I just sort of made my peace with just like walking around and then going to find someone if I actually need something. And then even when I was at Saj, I actually asked someone a question and they were like very dismissive and they like ran away to do something else, and I'm just like, I just need some information. Like, why am I unable to get assistance, you know? So I did not enjoy the Saj experience, and I'm definitely not going back there. But Ideal Ceramics, I was literally looking at tiles, like just walking around trying to figure out what to do, and this guy like came and helped me, and he was like giving me ideas and giving me suggestions, and you could see he wasn't rushed and he wasn't like, you know, like trying to be dismissive and like get this over with. And he like came and found me. I didn't have to go look for him. So I really enjoyed my Ideal Ceramics experience, and I think that kind of got me comfortable to where I bought a box of tiles. I bought 3 boxes of tiles, not knowing what I would do with them, not knowing where I wanted to put them. So I'm gonna let Vlog Me explain this to you, because I feel like in the moment she was like very excited. So my whole kitchen needs a massive deep clean, so we're just gonna ignore that completely. But I just wanted to lay out the tiles that I've gotten so far, because I was actually kind of torn when I bought these tiles. I didn't initially know what I wanted to use it for, because I thought like in the corridor at the front, or should I put it in a bathroom, or should I put it somewhere? And then it just hit me that I can actually use it as the backsplash in my kitchen and have it be like a moment. So what I had in mind initially was this. So I bought 1 box of these large white marbly tiles because I wanted to do full tiles down here and then full tiles up here, but I wanted to see how it would look in the space before I like fully committed to it, you know? So that's why I have it up here, because this is basically what I had in mind initially. But coming home with these tiles yesterday, I just like laid it here for fun, and I absolutely love it. I feel like this tile with white everywhere else basically, and then like navy doors, is gonna be such a moment. So now I'm thinking I want to use this on my countertops and then this as a backsplash. So I am so excited. I bought 3 boxes with 6 slabs each, so hopefully it's enough for at least one side. My carpenter is on his way, so we'll actually work it out today, and I am so excited. I'm not going to get into it too much, but essentially I had wanted to to do like a marble backsplash and then a marble countertop with tiles, just because the slab that I want is 37,500, and if I'm buying 3 or 4 of those, that's such a huge budget in something that's not actually the kitchen. You know, it's like a decoration in the kitchen, but it's not actually the kitchen. And I'm not there yet. Like, I'm not emotionally in a place where I feel like that isn't wasting money. So I decided to do the whole getting tiles thing, and I'll put a picture up here so you can actually see. My grandparents did the same with their island, and it looks really great. Like, it's a moment, right? So I don't have any issue using like wall or floor tiles on my countertops. As long as it works, I am a happy camper. When I saw these tiles, I immediately thought of the outside, like the entrance of the house. I really wanted it to be like another moment as you're walking into the home. It's like welcoming you into the fanciness and the, you know, just like all of that. But then I also knew that the money I wanted to spend that month for renovation was in the kitchen. So if I ended up spending the money renovating the outside, which the tile is perfectly intact and perfectly fine, boring, but fine, right? So it's like functional. So if I ended up spending the money there, changing something that doesn't need to be changed versus the kitchen and the frames is like rotting and falling apart and everything, like I would hate myself, you know? So I ended up just buying a few boxes because again, they're having a sale. So I was concerned that I would buy one box and then come back and be like, I just need like 2 more boxes, and then it's completely out of stock and we don't know when it's coming back, or if it comes back it's a different type, right? So just that whole emotional roller coaster, because I had completely fallen in love with them at this point. Like when I looked at them, the first thing that came to my mind is like Swahili, you know, like Malindi, like Lamu, like coastal beachy Swahili experience, and I really like that. And I think with all the white and the arches and everything, that's kind of the vibe of this house. So I knew that I wanted it somewhere. I didn't know exactly where I wanted it. And then the best part is I found out about the price. So it's 1,700 for a box, and a box isn't like so one tile is the 3 of them. It's not like 1, 2, 3, right? It's like the 3 of them is 1, and they have 6 of those in the box. So it's actually quite a lot of tile for a very reasonable price, because 1,700, I think originally it was 2,500, which also isn't bad, right? But then I ended up needing to buy 4 boxes. So instead of having to spend 10,000 shillings, ended up spending 7,000 and something. So I was very happy, very grateful that I was able to spend my 5 boxes. 7th, I don't know. I ended up spending much less than 10,000 shillings basically. So I just did the math in my head and I'm like, that's not right, but it's fine. Yeah, so I'm really happy that I was able to get it. And because the guy who came to help me, he just had such good energy and he was so friendly. And like we're talking initially because I was looking for the marble tile, right? So I was trying to see if I can get a different, like a single slab option that isn't too expensive, or if I can get the boxes of 2s that are wide enough so I don't have to add like a chunk of tile at the back, or just something, you know. So that's definitely what I went in for, but then when I saw the style, I just could not leave it. So yeah, that's how I ended up buying 3 boxes in my first visit, and I think I went back for 2 more. So yeah, I do believe I ended up with 5 tiles. Anyway, I literally laid them out and counted them as I would need them, because I ended up realizing that if I did one half of the kitchen and then I go back in like a month and they don't have the tile that I want, like then I'm screwed, right? Because I've already started on the style of the kitchen. So it's not something that I wanted to risk, because even when I was buying them, I was thinking of the outside. So I was thinking I'm just gonna store them somewhere and then use them on whatever much of the outside they fit into. I don't have to do the whole entrance place, right? But when I came here and I put the white up and I saw like the marble on the marble, it was just a bit boring. Like I'll explain a bit better in the video, but then it was just a bit too symmetrical, like a bit too modern, and like, you know, and I just felt like this other tile is just something really special, and I want it to be such a moment when I walk into my kitchen, and now it is. So I'm actually sitting here in the sitting room because the kitchen is completely done and completely clean. So I'm really excited to like walk you through the steps that it took to get us there, but this tile is such a big part of it. So I wanted tiles to just get their own dedicated video. If you are looking to buy tiles, Ideal Ceramics has such a good variety. I wish this was sponsored. This is not sponsored. I just really enjoyed my experience there. I didn't feel dismissed when I was there, you know. So if you are a relatively young looking person that they're like, is this one really building? Because like most people think you're buying tiles because you're building and not like demolishing a kitchen so that you can put them in. Yeah, I felt very welcomed. And even when I went back the second time, the guy was still friendly. He like remembered me. I mean, this was between Friday and like Monday, but still he like remembered me, and he was like, you know, yeah, he was just really friendly. friendly and very kind and very welcoming. So anytime that I need tiles, I'm definitely going back to Ideal Ceramics, because I've seen that they have some really, really good variety, and they have like a different type that it's a little safer. Like, I don't want to say boring, it's a little safe, but then it's like, it's really beautiful. So I don't know, we'll see if I ever if I ever do more tile work, because for now I think I'm done. The whole design for this lower part has changed again. I'm waiting on ripping all of this out for me to do a proper deep clean of the kitchen, which is why it's just kind of a hot mess. But I want to move my dishwasher from here to there, because I realized dishes sit in the sink because the idea of the dripping and the wetness all the way here, it's not a big distance, but it's more than one step, right? So it's just, I just want like maximum convenience in this place. So moving the dishwasher to that corner is kind of intimidating, because like I don't want a socket to be too close to wetness, but then my electrician told me we can figure it out. He's also supposed to come today, so hopefully we can figure this out. This is another new thing in my life. I got this bin, Rana, I think it was 2,900 or something. 100% worth it. It's absolutely perfect. No more smelly kitchen because I eat too many mangoes basically. So yeah, really, really excited. But I am most excited about finally finding my Backsplash. Literally, yesterday when I bought them, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with them, but I knew that I wanted this in my life. So initially, I'll actually show you. Again, the house is chaos. I'm not even gonna unblow it out, just so you can see. So there is so much sunshine. I don't even know if you can see that. Maybe I come outside and kind of try to block it. Yes, I think this is a bit better. So initially I'd wanted this tile for this area. So all of my construction things are out here. So it's gonna remain a mess until everything is completed. Okay, there's a wasp. Terrifying me for no reason. Go away. So, okay, no. No. So the wasp outside will just not leave me alone. So I'm just gonna come back into the kitchen and show you. So initially I had wanted this tile to be out there in the corridor, thinking like it's such a moment as you walk into the house, just this beautiful tile welcomes you. But then that would need a lot of tile. So I'd have to go and like buy maybe like 3, 4, 5 more boxes, and also pay someone to do the tiling, and like that's a lot of investment for something that's not necessary. Like it's a want, not a need. So I thought that's when I brought it into the house, and I thought, how can I make better use of this tile without feeling like I'm sort of wasting? Because I do this, like replacing all of this tile, like the Backsplash has definitely been on the on the list of things to do. So yeah, I'm just really, really excited that I've actually figured it out, because this is how it's going to look. Even on this side, I'm going to put this tile, and then this will be the Backsplash, and the grays in that, it's a different tone of gray than this, but then it kind of works because this isn't overly marbled, right? So I am very, very excited. I feel like this is going to turn out really good. Again, just ignoring the dishes, I feel like this is going to turn out absolutely amazing. I love that each tile has like a different pattern. I really wanted that, because I was actually going to buy a bunch of the broken tiles because they have a really good deal on that, because a lot of them are marble, because I wanted to cut them into squares and then do the whole herringbone thing here, so it's like a full-on moment. But then this also gives me the moment, and a box of this, so it's not like each square, right? It's each 3 is considered one tile, so 6 of them are 1,700 shillings, which is such a good deal. So all you're seeing out here is one box only, and I bought 3 of them, so I'm very confident at least this section of the kitchen will be done. And then I also realized that I can actually put it there as well. So I'm not going to go too close because I want you to get like sort of the vibes that I'm thinking. I want this sink area to tie into the kitchen, so they're just like both beautiful moments. If I remove this, you can see it a bit clearer, but yeah, especially with the black, it's gonna look absolutely amazing. So I'm really excited to get it done there as well. And I've slept on it, thought about this, and this is actually everything I want. So I'm willing to give up a marble Backsplash for this, and yeah, dude's on his way. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I haven't mentioned that I will have to take this down. I absolutely love my appliance tower, but there's just so much wasted space here, and I feel like I'm not really getting the maximum use of the space. So essentially the plan is to move the dishwasher to this side, extend the side of the sink, because my dish rack actually can't be horizontal. It's always like this other way, so I have to move the sink over a little bit, so the dishwasher being under there also gives me more usable space, because that will be like sort of countertop, versus this side that just always ends up fully cluttered, because it's like space but not functional, you know. So I'm going to have a complete countertop here, move this into that corner, build it in there, put the gas down there, put giant drawers here until the sink area, then there'll be a door in the sink area, and then the dishwasher. So hopefully the vision is clear. There'll be a bit of space between the sink and the cooktop, so at least I can have space for like souvenirs and chopping and whatever. So I just feel like that will be a lot more functional. And then this oven will probably come behind me temporarily. The microwave, all of them need new places to live, but I'm going to be repurposing these two shelves and putting them up there because apparently I'm not opposed to having storage that's ridiculously high up towards the ceiling. So yeah, I'll have to remove this just to trim it so that it's the same level as this, so that all the tile can end in the same place. Hopefully we can figure that out. I'm very excited to do this. I can't show you the full tile work as like a reveal because it would reveal the whole kitchen, which is the whole point. So I'm going to do a dedicated before and after of the kitchen. But yeah, I'm really excited. And you can see here sort of a sneak peek of everything come together. So once I clean the tiles and once the countertop is done, so instead of removing the Formica countertop that's there, we ended up just tiling around it, which looks really good. Like, I'm obsessed with it. The finishing isn't the best. I love my carpenter. He's very good at what he does. He's very good at like the big picture, but the details, his finishing is just never the best. And I've had a couple of issues in terms of that. Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to do like a little bit of touch-ups in the kitchen. There's still like a drawer that I need to fix, like it's a whole thing. But then overall, like when you take a step back, the kitchen looks amazing and I'm obsessed with it. So the mistake that I made was that I didn't create a thick enough area on the sink side with the tile, so then it looks like a very thin slab, so that it's a bit more obvious that it's just tile on tile on tile, because this guy guaranteed me he could get it like together seamlessly so that it all just looks like one piece. But then when it actually comes to the day of doing it, like on the ground, it's a bit different. So yeah, overall I'm like 90% happy with the way it turned out. That extra 10% is just something I'm going to have to fix as we go along. But I am really happy with the way this turned out. I hope this video was somewhat interesting to you. At least, you know, it's very random, but this sit down part is what I really wanted to do, because I didn't want to just like give you me going to buy the tiles and me like putting the tiles up and whatever. I really wanted to explain to you like the thought process and the experience so that you can actually understand where I'm coming from, and then we can actually see the kitchen before and after together, because this has been a labor of love. Like, I used to open my kitchen cabinets and be afraid of looking underneath the sink just because everything was so rotten and like falling apart. So like spiders had made their home in there, and then like remember we had the issue with the rat before, so those drawers just like terrified me. But now with these brand new drawers, I'm like really happy with the way everything turned out. So I am so excited to show you like a proper final reveal of everything. Like, it's gonna be so great. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you for watching. The point of getting this lens was so that we could do this at night, and you can clearly see it is Tuesday evening, and this is the first chance I've had to really sit down and like talk to you guys properly, because the weekend is supposed, like I set my uploads for Monday morning because I know Sunday I should have a day to be able to edit. But then this past Sunday was crazy, Saturday was crazy, last week was really stressful. At least now I feel a bit more relaxed. So yeah, I'm still definitely back. I'm not going to disappear again, but I hope you know, I hope the videos are entertaining at the very least. So as I come here with all the things happening in my life, I hope this is interesting to watch. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.